The muscle car era was beginning to close in the early 70s as rising insurance rates and fuel costs were hurting sales across the board. The most popular models were struggling against a wave of fuel-sipping imports, and the Ford Mustang was not excluded. All power ratings in 1972 were listed as net ratings, as big block options on Mustangs were all dropped. The top engine for Ford that year was only a 275 horsepower 351 Cleveland. Fast forward to present day. Not all muscle cars need to finish the way they started, and this 72 Mustang is proof of that. In 1972, Car and Driver reported that the HO Fastback went 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds and found the Mustang to be more stable with torque and less peaky than the old Boss 302s. With lower compression ratios in 72, many who bought the Mustang changed the camshaft and upgraded to a higher capacity intake manifold and carburetor to bring the compression to what the era was used to.
The idea that it's a fastback, sport roof, the interior. I've always loved the 351 Cleveland, and basically it's a 71 351 Cleveland motor, 4-barrel. It's the real thing, not just a 4-barrel on it. The heads make all the difference.
The HO had low enough exhaust emissions to be sold in California, which was difficult for many manufacturers to accomplish.
Definitely came from California. It was driven back in '94, where it was parked behind a garage, and it was hit in the rear trunk lid. The trunk was full of blankets, and it just soaked up all the water, and that's what did most of the damage in the back. It was 3 years on and off, 3-year project. It was a full restoration, tear it all down, and put it all back together again, every nut and bolt, right from the shell, right to where it's at now.
This Mustang features the blacked-out scooped hood and fully functional ram air system. Under the hood is a 1970 351 Cleveland turning out 300 horsepower at 5,400 RPM and 380 pounds of torque at 3,400 RPM. Save for a few minor tweaks, the 72 Mustang on the outside was virtually identical to the 71. The belief being that the engineers at Ford saw the writing on the wall and the muscle car era was coming to a close. They poured most of their time and energy into a redesign for the eventual Mustang II. This fastback has bucket seats, AC, power windows, tilt steering wheel, and 3-speed automatic.
Yeah, they put a trap door in the back, basically so you could carry a surfboard.
The front grille was a direct carryover from the 71, which never happened before, even in years when there wasn't a restyle. But there was plenty to take in with the rear deck spoiler, special body stripes, pop-open gas cap, and of course the famous pastel colors of the early 70s. This one is medium aqua blue.
I buffed it, one rear quarter, I looked at it, figured it would keep the color.
Sales for Mustangs in 72 dipped to the lowest number in any year of its history, selling 25,000 less than the previous year, which was already in a slump. By way of comparison, Chevy's Camaro, the chief competitor to Mustang, sold only 45,000 units, making the 125,000 Mustang sales look brilliant. By 1972, Mustang was much different than what Ford had envisioned with the original 64.5 model. It was 6 inches wider and 8 inches longer and weighed about 400 pounds more, completely abandoning the concept of the pony car. Many enthusiasts consider the 72 the last great first-generation Mustang, signaling the end of an era.
They said I wouldn't get hooked after the first hit.
Hey, stop!
They said I wouldn't get hooked after the first hit. They lied. Find out the truth about drugs. drugfreeworld.org.
When you think of our national forests, you think of trees, of the wonders of nature, of sheer beauty. But there's something you may not think about: the water you drink. Forests help snowmelt and rainwater soak into the soil to replenish rivers and streams during dry times. Forests stop silt from running into our water supplies and help keep our lakes and reservoirs clean. More than 180 million Americans have abundant, healthy drinking water thanks to our forests. Forests that are being devastated by disease and fire. The Arbor Day Foundation asks for your help in replanting our national forests to ensure that future generations will still have clean air to breathe, wood for our homes, majestic beauty to behold, and fresh water to drink. Be part of the rebirth of our national forests. Visit arborday.org. See how together we can plant our future.
I like Dodge Chargers, all right? One of the reasons, I like that body style. And actually, the price was right. My wife works right down the street. She actually passed it for the last 3 or 4 years, and it's been just sitting out there in the yard, just collecting weather beaten, and then they put a for sale sign on it, so she stopped and grabbed the number. She didn't expect me to buy it, but it needs a lot of TLC. It will need rear quarters on it, and behind the driver's seat will need the floor pan replaced in it.
This ain't doing it. This don't have a complete charge in this. So
hoping to hear it.
yeah, so wasn't I. Oh, we could always put the jumpers on it. Yeah.
Well, if you want to jump it, we can jump it. I mean, I don't care.
Didn't sound much of a, like there was much of a load put on it.
No.
Not for having it. Alternator's good. Good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm impressed because I had no idea where I was on the trailer.
Nice job. Perfect.
I guess when the guy we bought it from, actually, when he bought the car, they were driving it out and he sideswiped a tree and buckled it in. So that's where the damage to the passenger door came from. But we already, my daughter and I, Becca, we already went down and we happened to see one online, so we ended up picking up a bunch of body parts for real short money. Rambled off colors. We thought of greens. It does have green interior, so it might be better off going a different color on the body instead of going green on green, because it does have a 3/4 vinyl top on it, which is part of the SE edition. That one we're going to have to wait and see what that one turns out to be.
Someone added an option to this car, Drew.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because of the way this back is cut out, the way this is fine here, but this piece here is cut out. This top edge is definitely done with a sawzall or a metal blade. And the way it's sealed here, usually this comes down, this is all filled in all one piece. You don't have jagged metals. And this here, whatever was here, all right, I mean, and the rear quarter is all solid. So it looks like they might have cut out this back section to add the fold down back seat. These, believe it or not, the studs will always go back in, but the shoulder belts will not, because I don't like shoulder belts.
Oh, I was wondering
all
if
right.
even the shoulder belt will go
That's
back
a personal preference thing. Oh.
in. Has been a replacement?
What's that?
Is that what you're pulling on?
No, actually, I'm just looking at the back window, seeing, and I'm missing a screw. What we're going to do now is we're going to remove the back window. These here are fixed windows. They do not go up or down. We'll probably end up replacing these, even though the rubber's still soft, but that's a good rule of thumb, because usually when you're driving down the road, the water hits it and it leaks down in, and then it runs down inside your rear quarter. And you try to save these rubbers, because usually I've been told that you can reuse them without a problem, unless they rip like mine just did. They never took these off the last time. If you look, you'll see this, the blue paint, that's actually overspray because of the way they taped it. They actually, they're supposed to be clips, not silicone. There's supposed to be, you see there's a hole in there. That's supposed to be screwed on, and evidently one screw with a couple of clips. Now that they're going to be replaced anyway, so get rid of all the silicone that they used. They had a window leak at some point.